How's it look for you? Well, that's weird. It's only showing a tiny corner, huh? Why did you resize like that? What the... What? Why do you look like that? Oh, that's so annoying. No, it was looking... Yeah, there it is. There we go. It was looking kind of funky for some stupid reason, yeah. Reason, yeah. There we go, okay. We're looking for something very specific. Here we go. Absolute rotten motherfucker. Yeah, there we go. The ocean rising like I give a shit. That's gonna be stuck in my head all day, isn't it? Come on, buddy, you can load up. It's not that hard. I know. Come on, there we go. Yes. You can do it. There we go. Oh, wow. How about not? They say the ocean's rising like I give a shit. How about this? That's kind of cute, but a little overdone. I do appreciate that this thing can handle a lot more, though. This is a good PC. Well, that's all very cute, but no. Yes to what? That's it. The ocean rises like I give a shit. Yeah, let's go with you. Oh yeah, it's pretty awesome. Not so sure I like that world though. Oh, now that is nice. Yeah, that's nice. Oh, let's fix the video settings back to 40. There we go. So yeah, obviously I used to be running on like 12 chunks, and now I'm on like 40. So it's pretty impressive. I'm able to allocate like a huge chunk of RAM to this thing. It's only got the slightest bit of lag, and that's because I'm streaming. That is a pillager tower, way too close. Huh. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, I love that. Oh, we're absolutely going to live over there. Okay, so this is officially the best lake known to mankind, because look at that. Oh, and there's another one up on the hill. Perfect. Yeah, it's absolutely stunning. Yeah, it's a little tune I always hum. Dun, 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 dun. Don't know why. There's a little French song I sing sometimes too. Alouette, gentille alouette, alouette, gentille plume. Yeah, that's the tune. Why are you melting? What did I do? Yeah, sorry about that. They came out of nowhere. Yeah, it's an old French song we learned as kids. And my school, you learned French up until a certain grade, and then you started learning, Spanish, which my teacher was an awful woman who hated me and was very cruel, so I don't understand a lot of Spanish because I have a fucking panic response around it. So, yeah, I don't really speak Spanish. And I don't speak French because we stopped learning it when we were, like, very young. But I knew a few songs. Oh yeah, my private school was an absolute garbage place. Like, it was the worst. Just my teacher's idea of, appropriate behavior, I guess, was being really verbally abusive to me. So, yeah, I did not have a good time at that school. No, I'm not. I have taken Spanish for about 8 years, and I know maybe a handful of words. Like I said, it was a very traumatic experience. I was just a little kid. And she also encouraged, or at least didn't stop, the bullies. So it was just always very unpleasant. What do you mean, dramatic? Oh, well, I don't remember what I was saying, but yeah, no, it was a very negative, very abusive situation. My school allowed a lot of abusive shit to go on. Like, yeah, that's why I hate Spanish. I just have such a trauma response around it. I mean, the bully that was after me, I mean, the teachers were pretty shitty too, but obviously there was bullying, and one of the bullies, she actually broke a girl's arm, and the girl left the school. Yeah, I know, I'm demon of mine. Thank you for telling me. The girl left the school. The bully didn't face anything for it. Yeah, her parents were lawyers, and honestly, it was just, yeah, she got away with a lot of shit. Some of the teachers were just really hideous people who got away with a lot of shit. It was just not a good time at all. So yeah, that's why I don't like Spanish. I don't speak Spanish despite 8 years of learning it. Because my teacher thought it would be fun to be shitty to a literal child. But I do know a few words, yeah. That's why you don't pay for fucking private school. At least not that private school. Though I reckon you went to private school. Getting a fancy dragon education. So that's a yes. Is that your equivalent of a public school? A government school, is that your private school? Or, sorry, government school is your public school, right? My brain's on autopilot, can you tell? Yeah, my brain went on autopilot. Yeah, that's what I meant. I just flipped them and reversed them. Yeah, government school is your public school, and private school is private school, yeah. Yeah. Here, private schools are... Well, it depends. A lot of people can open up a private school. You know, that's the kind of the whole point of it being a private school. Anyone can pop one open. So we get like a lot of religious schools and schools that aren't held accountable to the same standards as everyone else. You guys also do have those religious schools, though, I know. Or at least I know of Islamic ones. Was your school religious or just, you know, secular? So you went to a secular school? Was that your parents' choice, or...? Because, like, obviously I'm no expert, but, you know, I keep doing bits of reading, and my understanding is that, like, schools that are more religious-based are more preferred. Oh man, look at that sunrise. That's so pretty. Oh, that's neat. Why is that? I mean, if you don't mind answering, you don't have to. Yeah, it does seem like it would be, intense. I mean, I'm not gonna pretend to be an expert in Islamic religious schools, but from what I've seen, yeah, it's, yeah, that too. But yeah, they do seem very, intense. I guess the less polite way to say it would be they seem a lot like American religious schools that are not so much about the education as active indoctrination. It's kind of a rude way to put it, but honestly, like, American religious schools are very guilty of just teaching dogma and not critical thinking. Like, it's fine to have your religion, but it's very rare that they're teaching just the religion. It's more likely that they're probably teaching you to, disbelieve the rest of the world, teaching you to isolate yourself, a whole bunch of crap, basically. A lot of times they teach that religion is under attack and that, in America of all places, that Christianity is about to die out. And that if they don't fight for it, then it will. And it's like, pretty much everyone that has any power in this country is a Christian. And if they're not a Christian, they're a Muslim or a Jew. And both of those groups are extreme minorities. So it's kind of like, have a hard time believing you and your little persecution complex over here. But they do, they teach that it's under attack all the time, and that, Christianity is just 2 steps away from being absolutely eradicated, and that if any other religion ever gets any sort of power, ever, then they will destroy Christians. And it's like, that sounds a lot like what you did back in the day, actually. So yeah, I don't really have a high opinion of religious schools as a result because of that whole pattern of behavior. Oh, to which part? Oh, well, yeah, I mean, Christianity is responsible for intense religious persecution all around this country. It's responsible for a lot of hate, a lot of violence. There's a lot of bad things that have happened in the name of Christianity and the Christian God. And at the same time, Christians in this nation are being taught that they are a persecuted class and that they're constantly under attack from the secular world, from other religions, from everything. And it's really difficult at points to exist in this country as a non-Christian. It's definitely not to the point where it is in other places where you will be fucking murdered. It's more so that if you want to get ahead, if you want to have your way paved for you, have things be easier for you, then being a Christian is probably a good way to go, because that is the favored class. White Anglo-Saxons, who are also Christians. And which is, understandable because this is a Christian nation. I'm not objecting to that. I don't think that one religion should hold all the power, but I'm not going to pretend like I don't understand that kind of system, That's not the issue. The issue is Christians, a lot of them in this country, still teach children that they are persecuted because they are Christian, that they are under attack at all times, that just the existence of the secular world and secular people is a threat to them. And that breeds a hostility in literal children towards the world around them, and teaches them that someone who absolutely is not attacking them is attacking them. Someone's existence is an attack on them, and that they are always 1 inch away from being utterly destroyed. And that breeds a paranoia, and that breeds a mentality that, causes the kind of hate crimes that you and I were talking about up in Canada. Because Canada's guilty of this too. It breeds this. It breeds this horrific mentality of, I am under attack. Even when you're very clearly not under attack. And as someone who is not a Christian, and who was raised Christian, and who is kind of, admittedly, very fed up with the Christian persecution complex, I don't have a high opinion of that. I think it's absolutely stupid, I think it's ridiculous, and I think that it is setting children up to suffer. Well, that's neat. And it's designed that way. It's designed to make children and vulnerable people believe that they only have that community. They only have the Christians to look out for them. They're only safe when they're with other Christians. That the world is dangerous, but they will be alright if they stay with other Christians. It just essentially teaches this really fucked up mentality about the world at large, and they act very surprised when this breeds intense hostility towards non-Christians. They'll go off about how it's not very Christian to, say, persecute Muslims. But the thing is, you can't separate the cause and effect. You can't go, oh, we taught our children this. We taught our people this. We taught them that they are constantly under attack, that all other religions are satanic, that all other religions are out to get them, that they are always 1 inch away from being destroyed. You can't teach people that, and especially not children that, and then be surprised when those children grow up to be violent towards other people, other religions, if they perceive that they're in danger. You can't. Because you literally taught them that. You taught them that they are soldiers of God, and that they need to be always ready for a battle. And now they're ready for a battle, and they're not going to do it on your terms. They're not going to fight when and where you say to fight. They're going to fight wherever they feel threatened, and you've taught them that everything is a threat. The existence of secular people, the existence of Muslims, sometimes of Jews, of even other Christian denominations, is a threat. It's not just a passive bad thing, it's an active harm to Christianity. So no, there is no way to distance Christianity from the actions that Christians commit, and at least in America, because the two have become so intertwined because of these types of things. And as much as much as I have sympathy for Christians who don't teach their children this, and who are horrified that this is the end result. And I do have immense sympathy for him, because it's the same reason I have immense sympathy for Muslims who are watching their religion get bastardized. It's awful. It's absolutely terrible. The town of the forest. Oh, that's funny. But the thing that I have to always consider is the surrounding influence, what's being taught, what's being learned, what's being pushed. And as much as you and plenty of Muslims are not pushing the idea that you have to go out and murder people, and that, all Muslims are under attack always, there are those who are pushing that narrative. So I think it's just a matter of how complicit you are, and unfortunately in America there's a lot of that complicity, because yeah, people are taught that. If you're teaching your children, if you're teaching your people that the existence of another group, just their existence, is a direct threat to you, then you are teaching them to hurt others. You are. Because you're teaching them that there's a war, that they are in danger, that there is a threat, and that one day they will have to fight that threat. And you're expecting them to understand the difference between one day you'll have to fight that threat and not today. You're telling them, oh no, you weren't supposed to fight it today. Okay, but when? You were priming them for a fight this entire time. You were telling them this entire time they need to be ready. They need to be ready. That this was a threat, that was a threat, that this thing, this existence, that existence, this behavior, that behavior. You taught them that, say, gays being given human rights was a direct attack on the religion and would lead to Muslims or Christians being eradicated. Both faiths are guilty of that. So when a Muslim or a Christian shoots up a gay nightclub, and both have happened, you can't just sit there stupefied like, how did this happen? They're not actually a real Christian. They're not a real Muslim. Yes, they fucking are. Yes, they are, and they were taught that. They were all truly members of that religion and truly members of that society. Does that mean that that religion and society is bad? No. Does that mean that religion is bad? No. None of that is true. What it means is there are people out there teaching that this is what you're supposed to do. There are people out there encouraging their followers to do these things. And unless every member of the religion works to uproot those very deep-seated roots of hatred and of violence and that persecution complex, it will not go away. It's not one of those issues that you can just hand-wave, away as the bad Christians or the bad Muslims. Or the bad Jews, obviously. We can talk about Israel all day. I'm just using those two as examples because those are the faiths that we are familiar with. But yeah, it's pretty much that. It's that hand-waving away of responsibility when, it is the responsibility of every member of the faith. That's my belief anyway. It's not just the responsibility of that particular teacher, that particular church, whatever, that particular scholar. It's the responsibility of every member of the faith to hold other members accountable. Doesn't mean I want you to go and fucking argue with Al-Qaeda, whatever. Obviously don't fucking do that. It's more, you just don't look the other way, and a lot of Christians just look the other way. A lot of Christians are like, well, that's tragic, but that's their church, that's their faith, we're not like that. It's like, okay, You might not be like that, but what are you doing to change that? What are you doing to fix that? You know, because these people who believe that they are under attack for being Christian, Muslim, whatever, that they need to save the world, that they need to go to war for their faith, are not going to listen to secular people. They're not going to listen, well, I'm not secular, but I might as well be to fucking these religions sometimes. They're not going to listen to people like me. They're not going to hear people like me because we are the enemy. We are the thing they are fighting against. And odds are they're not going to listen to another Muslim too. I mean, I've seen fucking opinions about Pakistani Muslims that would curl my fucking hair. And that's saying something. And, it's not like I expect every member of a religion to go out and fight with the bigots and, you know, fight with the assholes. That's not it. It's more that I don't like the passing of blame. No, I would really prefer not to discuss hate comments. Actually, I have enough gray hairs. But no, my point is that there's a lot of hand-waving of responsibility. There's a lot of, oh, well, those Christians do that, those Muslims do that, but we don't. And it's like, that's fine that you don't. I'm very grateful that you don't. But that should not be the end of your sentence. You know, that should be the fucking beginning of your sentence. We don't do this, and we're going to work to stop this. We're gonna work alongside everyone else. You know, you don't get a free pass because you're one of the good ones. That's a big issue that Americans have with race, I might add. I'm not one of the bad white people. I didn't do anything. My ancestors didn't do anything. Okay, but you're still a part of and benefit from a system that prioritizes you, prioritizes your belief, your culture, to the detriment of other people. And you cannot hand wave that away. You cannot just go, well, I'm not actively participating in the harm. Wonderful. But you're still benefiting from the harm, and you are the person who's in the position to speak out and do something about the harm because you are a person with power in your society, simply because of the way you were born. Or, you know, in the case of religion, simply because of the religion you have chosen to follow. You are the majority, and you need to recognize that and act accordingly. Because if you don't, and if you don't use that to help people who are marginalized, who are suffering, then nothing is going to change. Because the marginalized have less power. So, yeah. Summary, Foxo does not like that because, well, it's just a fucking excuse for a lot of people to not take responsibility and not put in any effort to change things. And again, like I said, I'm not expecting you to go fucking face down, you know, a fucking terrorist organization. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not expecting someone to endanger themselves. I'm not expecting any of that. I'm only saying you cannot hand wave responsibility away. None of us can. Any more than I can hand wave responsibility away as a white man in America. And there exists also axes of oppression. It's not, you know, I'm Muslim so I'm oppressed in America. It's okay, but what privileges do you have? For example, if you're a white passing Muslim, if you visibly don't look Muslim, you know, as Americans would understand it, which means wearing hijab, or wearing cultural garments of a predominantly Muslim region, or, you know, being there's no such thing as racially Muslim, but I'm just going to use racially Muslim as a shorthand to understand, you know, people from certain regions of the world that are predominantly Muslim, because Asian doesn't really fully cover it, so, I guess ethnically Muslim. You know, if you're someone who's not giving off any of the visual cues of I am a Muslim that people in your country can recognize, then you exist on a higher level of, you know, or lower level, sorry, of oppression. Not that you are not oppressed at all, not that you don't have your own bullshit to deal with, and it's certainly not a privilege to hide your religious identity. It's definitely not what I'm saying. But as a white passing person who is not visibly Muslim, you are going to face less hate crimes and less difficulty in America than, say, a black, Arabic, or, you know, Southeast Asian Muslim will. And so it's the same thing for everything, and people try to weaponize one marginalized identity, you know, as, oh, well, I can't be the bad, you know, I can't be racist, or I can't be, you know, an oppressor, I should say, I'm a trans person in America, and it's like, oh no, you absolutely can. You 1000% can. You can be racist, you can be sexist, you can be all of those things. You can absolutely be, you know, an oppressor. I am not exactly at the pinnacle of my society. I am white, but I am the kind of white person that white supremacists do not want. I am trans, I am disabled. Will you stop growling at me? I'm on peaceful. I am trans, I am disabled, I am mentally ill, I am gay, I am what they would consider, you know, pagan or otherwise a heathen. And that comes from two sides, because there's either the religious white supremacists, who are obviously usually Christian and aggressively so, or there's the secular white supremacists who believe that all religion is foolish, and yeah. Well, it's not that I'm different. I mean, I understand what you're talking about, but that's actually a not a productive way to summarize it, because it's not that I'm different. Difference isn't the issue. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're certainly not encouraging me to be different. But what the actual issue is my ability to give them the white society that they want. They're looking for their perfect white society. That does not include disability, that does not include mental illness, that does not include queerness. That includes me giving birth to children. You know, perfect, pure, white children. That's basically it. As fucked up as that is. You know, my value to a white supremacist is what I can do for them, for their men specifically. And if I fail to provide what they think that I owe, and what they think my responsibility is to white society, then that means that I am not acceptable. And that I need to be dealt with. They would treat a lesbian woman and an infertile woman the same exact way. You know, with the exception of a few minute details. Because both of these people are not capable of carrying children and furthering the white race. Both of them do not provide what, what these guys want them to provide, basically, is the best way to summarize it. You know, they're not going to have the children, they're not going to pass down the correct traditions to the children. They're not going to stay home and raise the family. They're not going to do any of that. They're not going to fulfill their responsibilities to their race and to their culture. And as I'm sure you know, coming from the part of the world that you do, how people with authoritarian views on what should be done treat people who don't fulfill the responsibilities of their race, culture, ethnic group, religion, etc. And these are perceived responsibilities, don't get me wrong, but they're perceived by this group who very much wants to be in control or is in control. You know, your responsibility would probably be to stay at home, veil yourself up, and have children and raise them in the same way that your husband was raised and in the same way that he believes they should be raised. You're not there to have an opinion, you're there to help him, to further his line, to further his existence. Because that's what extremists and, you know, such and such believe. And it's the same thing for white supremacists. Their belief is also that, for example, women exist to serve. And the interesting thing about all these beliefs that a lot of people tend to leave out is they are not much better to the men. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to pretend like a, Muslim man in a fundamentalist Muslim region that is very aggressive about how women should act is going to, be as oppressed as a woman. I'm not going to pretend that that's the case. We all know that that's not the case. What I'm saying is men are also not allowed deviancy from the norm. And their deviancy from the norm is punished too. There are acceptable sins. It varies based on region. So for example, in some places an acceptable sin is cheating on your wife. It's not really acceptable in the sense of, the religion or the fundamentalist leaders tolerate it. It's more acceptable as in there is a blind eye turned to it. Or a man is given more of a pass where a woman is not. But there are a lot of unacceptable sins for men too. A big example of this would be being gay or being perceived as feminine. Another example of this would be letting a woman tell you what to do in some of these areas. Like someone like Jules in the relationship, would shame the man. I don't gotta tell you this, you know that. Yeah. And it can be just as restrictive to the men. It's not as oppressive. There's a distinct difference between oppression and restriction. Oppression is a boot on your throat. Restriction is being locked in the house. A woman is likely both restricted and oppressed. She's locked in the house, and the guy has his boot on her throat. But the guy is also locked in the house. He just doesn't have the boot on his throat. And that's one of the difficulties of tackling these issues. And actually, I run into this a lot because, TERFs, trans exclusionary radical feminists, are very much of the opinion that men have all the privilege and power, and this is all men. They do not. I summed it up really well the other day. Patriarchy does not mean that every man has power. Patriarchy means that only men have power. Or, what did I say? I said, yeah, patriarchy does not mean that every man is on top. It means that only men are on top. And that's the thing about it. Patriarchy thrives on tearing other men down. You know, on shaming them, on humiliating them, on saying you are less manly, less adequate, less capable, less this, less that, and encouraging them to be more violent, more cruel, more terrible, in order to be proper men. And as a result of that, you know, perpetual nastiness, and that perpetual, you know, beating them over the head with a stick and telling them you are a shit man unless you're being an absolute bastard to women, to children, unless you're a controlling, toxic asshole, men are not benefiting from that either. You know, because here's the thing. If you're strong enough to endure all that, and I use the term strong very loosely, I don't think it makes you strong to endure abuse, but it's an adequate word for the time being. If you're strong enough to withstand that, then you will rise to the top, or at least rise to a place of respect. But if you are not strong enough, and if the constant abuse, berating, the constant, you know, you're forced to suppress your emotions, you're not allowed to feel, you're not allowed to express anything, you're not allowed to be weak, to be submissive, to even be in need, or to struggle, then you go to the bottom of the pile, and men are not going to treat you amazingly. They're not going to look at a weak man. In a patriarchal society, men are not going to look at a weak man and go, I've got you. They're going to look at a weak man and go, you're pathetic. You're disgusting. You don't deserve anything. I'm going to take what you have. I deserve it. I am more manly. I am stronger. I am better than you. They're not uplifting one another. They're taking advantage of one another. Yup. Man up. It's all of that. It is all of that. Men are taught to tear each other down for their own success. And that's the thing about TERF logic and about this kind of logic in general that really misses that. That men are being just as torn down, but they're being torn down in a different way. So, you know, it's not simply man privileged, woman not. It's an entire hierarchy. And I've had this conversation with TERFs like 1,000 times, and some of them really don't get it. It's like they'll hit on the point that a gay man is going to be significantly oppressed in his society, but they'll completely miss why. And several of the reasons include he's not oppressing women the way that he should, he's not displaying the toxic masculinity he's expected to, and in fact, gay men who are expressing toxic masculinity, you know, they're assholes who are constantly fighting each other, suppressing their emotions, expecting women to deal with their emotions, being angry and aggressive all the damn time. You know, those gay men get a lot further than gay men who are perceived to be feminine, effeminate, weak. You know? Yes, homosexuality is definitely an issue for these societies, but the larger issue is the lack of masculinity. And it's very easy to reduce patriarchy down to, you know, that. And I'm sorry, this is probably really fucking boring. I guess what I'm getting at is patriarchy does not particularly care whether you are... how to put this bluntly... Sorry, I'm just trying to keep my eyes on this really quick. Well, yeah, I mean, that is a complete sentence. Patriarchy does not care. But, what I'm trying to say is patriarchy does not particularly care how you have failed as a man or as a woman. It just cares that you have failed. Like, period. It just... that's it. You succeed or you fail. I don't tolerate that reductionist view of, you know, patriarchy, of what it's like to be a man in patriarchy, because it's easy to punch up at someone you think is, you know, your oppressor, because you feel like you're punching up. That's why a lot of TERFs like punching at trans women. They think trans women are men, and they feel comfortable punching up at them because they feel that they can punch up at men. Oh, that was like gray. Gosh darn it. And the fact of the matter is, A, trans women are not men. That's a given. But B, that not all men operate on the same axis of privilege. That trans woman, likely when she was, you know, trying to conceal herself and live as a cis man, and probably did a very poor job of it. Of course, I take one before I break my pickaxe. Was likely not living at the height of male privilege either. Because to live at the height of male privilege, you have to embrace very toxic, aggressive, masculine behavior. Just like to achieve the height of, I guess, privilege is a weird word to use, but female privilege, you have to... oh, it's raining, nice. You have to be what that society wants from a woman. You know, you see women, I'm sure you guys see it too, that pride themselves on being submissive, dutiful wives to their husbands, never questioning, never giving him any trouble, you know, always servicing him, always doing everything he ever could need, basically treating him like a goddamn baby and petting his ass all the damn time. And you'll see those kinds of women will have superiority complexes at times. And, you know, they'll say, I'm better than you, I'm a better woman, I'm a better wife, I'm a better partner, you know, your husband must have such a shitty life because you don't do all of this for him. And that's a level of privilege, because that's what the society expects from a woman. You're able to provide it, ergo you have the privilege of being seen as a good woman, a good wife, and as being seen as an acceptable woman. You're not going to be persecuted for that, you're not going to be harmed for that. Am I making sense? I'm still babbling. I said I would shut up, and I did not shut up. pause just for a second so I can look at Pinterest and find something. I'm sorry, this got very weirdly political very fast. I did not mean to babble on about patriarchy. Oh, well, I'm glad you don't mind. Yeah, sorry, it's just a heavy topic. Okay. I'm actually going to be right back too. I have to pee. Thank you, Rain, for making me have to pee. Oh, back-ish. Gotta open my window a bit more. And knock over my compressed air. I cannot wait till my shelving unit gets here. That'll be so nice. Okay. Back to Pinterest, because we're, that kind of gay. Oh, that looks nice. Oakwood accents. Okay, yeah, that works. And colored terracotta. Alright, so the one thing I really need is... Okay. I think I can do that. So real quick, let me see if I can't actually throw a capture up onto the screen. Let's see. Okay. There we go. Okay. So we can see it real quick. Perfect. All right. We're just gonna wait for our watcher to come back, and I'm gonna sing. No, I'm not gonna sing. It's bad enough that I started talking about patriarchy.
Hello guys, how's everybody doing? I hope you're doing great. You're watching Minecraft Sekai, and today we're going to be working on the Mega Survival Phase. It has everything you need to survive. Hello guys, how's everybody doing?
Oh, it's so small. Okay.
Doing? Vegas, so this is the little here at biome. I will purposefully use biome would need or get ground bell. Yeah, no if perseverance. I didn't make a poll, so just a poll up in the corner here somewhere to vote. Anyways, now as you can see in the title of YouTube, thank all 10,121 of you.
Welcome back. So, as you can see, I threw up a screen capture. And presumably it's hovering in an awkward place over part of my screen. But I can't actually pull up a full picture, so we're just rolling with that. But that right there is what we're looking to make. Some sort of base like that. There we go. Well, I'm gonna make something similar, yeah. Okay, let's delete that source. Yep, we're gonna remove browser so it's not in the way. There we go. So first of all, obviously we don't have the terrain for part of it because this is a valley surrounded by low-lying mountains. And as you can see, the mountains go from here to here. So yeah, I have to figure out how we're gonna make that work though in the in what we've got. Let's take a saddle with us in case we find a horse. So my first thought is obviously we have a lake here. Lakes mean water, water means crops, and crops are incredibly useful. So one of the first steps is going to be irrigating and turning a lot of this into agricultural land around the edges, which means I'll have to go dig out dirt from up in the mountains. But we're going to follow the mountains to the very edge. They're very low-lying, so they may not have the use that we're hoping. But we could make... Okay, so what I'm thinking is a walled town. Because this stretches from mountain to mountain, but those are really staggered slopes. So we'll have to figure out how to do that. Okay. So this is essentially the point where that mountain range ends, and there's the other mountain range way over there. theoretically, a wall could be built right there, but it would be so fucking long. Like, stupid long. Look at this. Look at this. It's so far away. Oh, that's a village over there. Okay. I'm surprised you like it because of all the jackals that are just chilling around. There's so many pillager towers. Why? They're all over the mountain. I really want Roland to get that server up. He's gonna make a Minecraft server, and pretty soon, with any luck, that is where I'll be streaming. So that way all my projects are for more than just me. There's a village over there, and there's a village up on that ridge. You know what, screw it. Big project, less grinding, more building. Ta-da! This is just so I can get a view of the area really well and plan something out. could do, we could make a wall that just follows close to the lakeshore, cuts between those two houses right there, so they go on the outside. We could include the temple, maybe not. This whole area would make great cropland. I could make some upstream little ponds that feed down into there and grow a ton of crops. The biggest issue is going to be wool. Where do I find wool? Because none of these villages have sheep. There we find wool. Okay. Good, we're solid. Oh, that's pretty. I love canyons, they're so pretty. Okay, so that done. Alright, back to the survival world. Our first task is going to be making a sheep farm. Okay, where's my Minecraft playlist? There it is.
This is my biome, it's what I call home. All of my time I've spent building you. From the moment of spawn, whenever I log on, I know it will always be me and you. And it was cold like December, the wasteland you used to be. But I put you at the center, now you're beautiful, I agree. Now it's too late to keep playing, time to log off for the night. I'd never call that time wasted, and I'll be right back when it's bright. I've spent all of my time, I've put up the lights. There's no end in sight, think I'm doing it right. I'll never be done, even when the sun sets. I'll be here all night. This is my biome, it's what I call home. All of my time I've spent building you. From the moment of spawn, whenever I log on, I know it will always be me and you. And if I ever lose you, then that's it. So I'ma save your file, I'll never miss. And all those other worlds will never get. I wish you had some lips that I could kiss. 'Cause this is my biome. Can't wait to get on tomorrow. I never miss one single day. Because it's me and my biome. Never think of going away. You can expect me to mine.
Oh, they do not get to keep their wool at all, actually.
And I'm always hoping to find some diamonds.
share it?
So I'm going. I've spent all of my time. I've put up the lights. There's no end in sight. Think I'm doing it right. I'll never be done. Even when the sun sets, I'll be here all night. And this is my biome. It's what I call home. All of my time I've spent building you. From the moment of spawn, whenever I log.
Okay, that's gonna be a jerk. So where are my earbuds? Where did I put Just setting up my... Yeah, that signal's interfering. Of course it is. Yeah, so do I, but it's screwing with it. I don't have, you know, obviously enough room for two Bluetooth signals in the same space. So, earbuds it is. There we go, okay. Oh, wait, what am I doing? I need a bucket. That's what I'm doing. Gosh darn it. That's why. Really? All your sound is just... Come on. dick. You are. Reloading, reloading. There we are. Hi, pretty. There we go. One thing, it's kind of crazy how it's all bound for you. I'm gonna film that. I will bite you. This is my biome, it's what I call home. Time I spent building you, from the moment of spawn. Whenever I love gone, I know it will always be me and you. Any day is a perfect day. Running away when we build together, you and me. Come on. Come on, guys. Thank you. Fucking great. Thank you. Gonna be digging out this road, replacing it with terracotta. That will be a lot of dirt for my new farms. Fighting for enough fun. Gotta get it done. So much to do, so much to kill. So what's wrong with going outside now? Well, a lot of things, including that skeleton and that wolf. No. Hey now. Get your sword on. Go fight. Hey now. Hunger. Get the monsters. Don't die. And you should always keep strong. And in hell is where they belong. Fire, how about yours? That's the way we do it and we never get bored. Oh, hey now, you're a fighter. Get your sword on, go fight. Hey now, you're stronger. Get the monsters, don't die, and you should always keep strong. Down in hell is where they belong. Here, down, 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 down. Go for the sword. Down, down, down. What are you doing following me? Your stupid face. Now, you're a fighter. Get your sword on. Go fight. Hey now, you're stronger. Monsters don't die, and you should always keep strong. Okay. Concept. Use a little feel of ourselves and we could now use a little change. Oh, battle is going and we'll stop going. Have to break now and never go running. Be fighting around for fun. But your head gets done. To do so much to kill, so what's wrong with going up right now? Never win if you don't go. Go, you never win if you don't go. Show me now. Fighter, get the sword on. Go fight. Hey now, you're stronger. Get the monsters. Don't die, and you should always keep strong. Hell is where they belong. Where they belong. He really knows saplings. Charming. Oh, the lizards. Okay. Do I need a sword? I keep forgetting my sword. Quicker than, least is quicker than. My name's Dan and I'm a pig man. I'll show you around there, the pig man. My name's Dan and I'm a pig man hanging with my pig man gang. Deep down in nether, the region covered by a brown bit of leather with a wiggle and a wall to a purple portal, living in a word that hurt our mortals. Never snort netherwood in the nether fortress. People hold their torches. Floor feeling nauseous. Did you fall for it? Of course you did, of course you did. Thought we could all kiss. We're the pig man and we're all fucking gorgeous. Pig man, my name's Dan and I'm a pig man. Let me show you around and I'm a pig man. I'm a pig man hanging with my pig man gang. I'm a pig man. Pig man. needs punch till the pictures ready to go. Oh yeah, I'm digging all that. Yeah, this is how you get materials. So if you do an inset room like this, it gives you a ridiculous amount of resources. And it allows you to have a row that's visible, as you can see. We'll put terracotta on it. And there's my pen right there. This might take a few days. Grade my sword, my dig out incredible amounts of sand elsewhere, we'll have a place to put it all. We need one block high on each side of the road. That allows me to put the inset terracotta in. because of the beds. Use white for the road accents, because white will give it a little bit of a pop in the sun. Yeah, when the sun shines on it, it's just a little brighter. This is why there has to be dirt on each side, as you can see. to make these at least 2 wide, too. Because I'm using slabs. They need an extra space, so a slab is a half block, and they'll go here, and it'll make it a smooth transition. hear you. What creeper? Hi, Jackal. Bye, Jackal. No, don't eat me. Ah, there we go. There's another one. Good. Come here, spider. Come here. No, no, no. Come here. Come on. Come on. Thank you. I needed that. Okay. Bye, creeper. Bye, creeper. No, bye, creeper. No. Stay away from me, creeper. Thank you. Diamond or an iron sword. I'm searching for a food bar. Eat it with a health bar. There we go. Ah, more bones. Thank you, jackals. You're so sweet. See, the one thing about the jackals, they're basically wolves, and wolves attack skeletons. So at night, they'll just mash them. Yeah, no, isn't that a nice look? White accents, perfect. And the nice thing is, let me show you how this is gonna look. So see, the white's gonna still pop, because there'll be something up here and this down here. That's why we need at least 2. Gosh darn it. There we go. If you have shame, it's gotta end at this time. The time. What are you up to over there? Dragu, what you doing? character is. Jump the obstacles. Boing, 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 boing. Ow. Oh, that was expected. Motherfucker. Yeah, there we go, sorry. Yeah, go do the sleep. I'm gonna quit streaming. I'm reorganizing anyways.